First of all, good afternoon to all of you, and thanks to Indian Chemical News, in particular Prashant, for inviting us for this session. I'm happy this is last but one session, but still there are a lot of people who seem to be interested in this topic. So I'm really happy, and I must thank you for your patience. I think Mr. Watarkar has set the tone for this session pretty well. He has covered quite a bit on the chemical industry. Well, I have two of my panelists who would be probably more focused on the plastic part of the industry, and they will elaborate on this. But before that, just a few comments I had as far as this particular session is concerned. Little bit about ICP. This is a not-for-profit, non-partisan organization working in the area of plastics in the environment, and I come from there, and also one of my colleague, Mr. Bandopadhyay. We are talking about waste. I think most of us, we believe that waste is actually a human construct. It's not there in nature. It's not there in nature. One waste from one ecosystem goes to the other ecosystem and it gets converted. And that is the study of resources that happen. Unfortunately, the human species have not been able to come to that stage yet. We are struggling, but we will probably be there through the concept of circular economy. So I'm happy that this particular session we have on chemical waste management, recycling, and more importantly, we added circular economy to this. So the way we would go about is, I would request our panelists to take few minutes for their initial comments. Then possibly I'll pose certain questions to all of you, and then throw this particular session open to the audience to ask their questions. So first of all, let me start with Mr. Rambhia. He is one of our leader in the plastic industry and is part of Plastic India Foundation as well as All India Plastic Manufacturers Association. Mr. Rambhia, your comments, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Friends, I bring to you some update from plastic sector. So, entire world is worried about plastic, and rightly so, because if you go to the beach, you see plastic on beach, nobody likes that. If you go to the mountains, jungle, we read in the paper, we saw that beautiful image of a nice turtle, but with a straw in the nose, and it disturbed us enough. Their straws are banned across the world, it disturbs us that enough. Now you guys are lucky. You guys are very, very lucky, because your products are not photogenic. वो दिखते नहीं इसलिए पीटते नहीं है. Okay. The reality is, प्लास्टिक वेस्ट इन मरीन एनवायरनमेंट जो कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है यूएन की, काफ़ी बड़ी इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है, पूरे दुनिया से लोग आते हैं एंड बड़े बड़े कवरेज होते हैं, बड़ा हल्ला गुल्ला होता है, ड्रम बजाते हैं. सो आई एम अ क्यूरियस काइंड ऑफ पर्सन. मैंने बोला देखते हैं प्लास्टिक वेस्ट इन एनवायरनमेंट एक्चुअली कितना होता है. सो आई आस्क्ड अ डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन टू ChatGPT. आई आस्क्ड व्हाट आर द पोल्यूटेंट्स इन द ओशन, एंड वो तो आप लोगों के प्रोग्राम पे बनाया हुआ मशीन लर्निंग है, वो बोलता है प्लास्टिक. So I refuse to accept that answer. Chalo, let me do a bit of research. When did a deep dive, and it doesn't take too much imagination. I'm one of you consumers. मुझे पता है सुबह हम टूथपेस्ट वापरते हैं, थूकते हैं, डायरेक्ट समुद्र में जाता है. सोप शैम्पू जाते हैं, डिटर्जेंट वहीं जाता है, फिर कॉस्मेटिक को यूज़ करते हैं वहीं जाता है. देन वी गो कम टू अ ब्रेकफास्ट टेबल, तो वो ब्रेकफास्ट खाना उगाने के लिए इंसेक्टिसाइड, पेस्टिसाइड, फर्टिलाइजर, herbicide, germicide, whatever name, fertilizers, everything goes to the ocean. उसके बाद गाड़ी में बैठ के हम जाते हैं ऑफिस पे, तो उसका जो धुआं निकलता है 30% of it gets dissolved into ocean, making it more acidic, converting corals, discolor corals, melting the shells, converting seawater into mild carbonic acid or something like that. Okay, so ये सब गूगल बाबा ने मुझे अलग अलग साइट पे बताया. Then I did some calculation and I was surprised and shocked that plastic waste in ocean is less than 0.06% of total pollutants in the ocean. Only 0.06%, but visibility उसकी ज़्यादा है इसलिए बहुत पिट रहा है. आप लोगों के प्रोडक्ट की visibility कम है इसलिए कम पिट रहा है. So that's so far. But we all smart people. हम लोग हेल्थ चेक करने जाते हैं जो दिखता नहीं है वो हमको लैब बता देती है ना कि भाई आपका हीमोग्लोबिन कम है, कोलेस्ट्रॉल ज़्यादा है, whatever XYZ. तो वो चेकअप अभी चल रहा है एंड वो सारा चीज़ आज नहीं तो कल सूनर देन लेटर बाहर आएगा. तो आपके जितने पाप कर लिए आगे चल के बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी आती पाप धोने की. It's a big business opportunity, huge business opportunity, because those who take this opportunity can mint money. UN is looking at chemicals of concern which are being used by plastic sector. They are saying there are 18,000 chemicals, sometimes number is even bigger, and they're looking at each chemical. Now you know chemicals that you are doing. Please focus on the chemical you are doing, and if you are able to find chemicals which can be replaced with little less harmful to nature or health or environment, even if they're a little more expensive, start working in that direction. Because one side we have this conference, India will become global hub for sourcing chemical here. So one thing we'll have to match is compliances, not Indian compliances. You'll have to match compliances in your customer country. So if you are supplying to Switzerland or Germany or UK or US, उनके compliance आपको match करने पड़ेंगे. So be prepared for that. And it's a good problem to have. It's a very good problem to have, because initially it may mean आपको थोड़ा stretch करना पड़ेगा, but it also means 80-90% of your competitors are out to things कि नहीं ये महंगा है, नहीं होगा, ये फलाना डिकना. Also, it is kind of moat in business which is setting you apart. So start working in that direction, compliances. Because as a consumer, we all want to live longer, healthier, we want our family to be safer. But in the workplace, what we are doing may not match that. 121 Indians own as much as bottom 540 million Indians, Oxfam report. 121 maybe 500, 540 million maybe some figure here and there. But what he says is this huge disparity. The corporate grade is so high that to get that additional few better points on Fortune 500 index, the companies may be doing everything good, bad, ugly, and we could be part of the supply chain vendor or we can be part of the system. But the world is shifting the gears, and in the new world that is coming in, people are more aware, consumers are more aware, they are willing to pay a premium for good, sustainable products. So that is, and our industry is bearing the brunt. We are being forced to change.
Let's stay within our this thing of
So
plastic and chemicals.
Yeah. So now plastic industry is undergoing a lot of changes. For example, multi-layer packaging is being shifted to one material instead of multiple materials. All the chemicals and master batches and additives which go into plastic are being looked with microscope, and they are changing fast. It's a big opportunity for all of you, because if you look at those chemicals, some of those chemicals may be outdated. They may be banned in US, UK, Europe 20, 30 years ago. They will be banned here too, much sooner than you think. So start working on it. It's a great thing that any change, anytime there is a change, people who adapt to change thrive and survive. People who resist the change, don't change, can go away. So this is the time for smart people to come up and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayesh bhai. I think we are in the same boat. It's chemical, plastics. All of us are in the same boat, same industry. So it's a challenge for all of us as far as sustainability is concerned. So let me turn this thing to Mr. T.K. Bandopadhyay. Little bit your comments on this panel.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
First of all, I thank Chemical News, Mr. Chaubey, for inviting me and our team for speaking on this thing. And first clarification, I got it from him that we will be covering mostly plastics as a chemical, yes, which he agreed to. And the points they came from the Chemical News is waste minimization, recycling, resource recovery, extended producers' responsibility, regulatory compliance, research and innovation. All of this comply to this circular economy. And in plastics, we get it in abundance. I will give some small statistics. India is the third largest consumer of plastics in the world, after China and USA, as a country, not as a country. European Union, Europe is European Union, I'm a particular country. India is the third largest consumer in the world, whereas India produces 50% of it, what it requires, consumes. So there is a huge gap. We have to have the production, whereas UNEP is trying very hard to bring the resolution of legally binding resolution of bringing down the consumption, raw material consumption, which is not possible for the country like India because we have to develop. But it does not mean, we will not mean that waste management. We are already doing, plastics are already doing the recovery because plastics are the least, I have some slides because it's not required, but plastics is the least energy consumer among the metals, glass and paper, the alternative materials. Huge amount of greenhouse gases are being saved by plastics. Already it is being recovered because we don't consume that. By virtue of some other compulsion, government had to come out with some regulation of single-use plastics and all that. This is for some period, up to 2030. The results will be seen after that and further decision will be taken. But already plastics are the least energy consumer, least greenhouse gas emitter. So plastics are per se are doing very good for the environment. And some of the things on the plastics, India, about 100 billion US dollar, the business was in 2022. And it will be going further up because the carg is more than 10% in plastics. But if the provisions are forced, India, as a government of India has not agreed to that, but our responsibility is to minimize the waste. For that, government has brought out the EPR regulatory regulations that every product, there are 5 sector categories are there. Every product have to increase the consumption of recycled plastics into the product, including food product, which originally it was not agreed to, but still it has been implemented at least to bring up to begin with PET bottles. All Coke and the drinking water bottle, you will be finding it is made from some amount of recycled plastics are already there, just to encourage recycling. But one part I will try to share with the audience here. There is a particular term. Then from 1950 to 2015, out of the 9 billion ton of plastics produced, only 9% of plastics have been recycled. This is going into the heads of everybody because it came from UNEP. it is not correct. It is absolutely not correct, because about 30% of all plastics produced since 1950, 1950 was much less, actually it will be 1970, 30% of plastics are still in use, and they will be in use up to about 100 years, because a lot of plastics in some sectors, piping sector, cable sector, some sectors, our life is more than 100 years. So, calculating of those plastics as a part of the coming into the waste is absolutely not correct. I will just finish. So these are some myths about it, plastics, and waste. And one particular aspect, India has taken lead. EPR has brought the regulation that plastics have to be incorporated from 20% to 30% to 50%. But as a chemistry, it is not possible. Worldwide, there is no standard to determine and estimate what is the percentage of recycled has gone into the product. But BIS in India, in where ICP also is a member of it, is coming out first time in the world to estimate based on the old sign only, but with the various protocol, different protocol, to come out with the particular scientific estimation of, to know that what is the percentage of recycled in the product. With this, I will hand over to Watarkar.
I think let's shift the gear a little bit. Let me ask a question. Sustainability has become a buzzword. Maybe you would like to respond. Because I talk about sustainable food, I talk about sustainable clothing, I talk about sustainable fashion, I talk about sustainable cities. So is it a buzzword, or is there something beyond that? Maybe you can respond here.
Yeah. So currently everybody is talking about sustainability, and all the organizations have taken a larger step to give their offerings with a sustainable touch. By this, what we mean is that we have consumed the natural resources up to that extent, while what we have to give back to the nature is not being done with the same pace proportionality. So sustainability is basically talking about natural system function to remain diverse and produce everything systems need for ecology to remain in balance. That means for each of our actions as an organization, whatever we may be doing, our actions should be directed towards it will not deteriorate the environment, and for that matter, environment, mental health, the cleanliness of our nature. So we have to basically minimize the waste, we have to recycle, reuse, re-innovate. So everything is and that's exactly the 1.5 years back that we changed rebranded our company's name to Re-Sustainability from Ramki Enviro Engineers, is talking about moving from a linear to circular economy and bringing sustainable challenge. So in the field of environmental and waste management, our presence in offering the solutions also talk about providing solutions in sustainable way, whether it is liquid wastewater treatment, whether it is solid waste, or whether it is hazardous waste. So it's a buzz, sustainability word is a buzz at the moment, but there is a lot of meaning for that, and our future generations to come would basically be thanking us after another 100 years for the actions that have to be taken from today. That is my view on this.
Sustainability is, I don't know why, but it's now limited only to environment, which is not the full extent to look at sustainability. Sustainability also has to be seen as sustainability of livelihood, sustainability of providing for needs of 1.4 billion Indians. Because if we start measuring sustainability as per standard of Scandinavian countries, for example, there are more people on the roads of Marine Drive to welcome our cricket team than their population. So you got to provide this 140 crore Indian with sustainable living. So sustainability has to be balanced with what is required by population and what is requirement of environment. You can't blindly cut and paste the European concept onto Indian economy.
Yeah, I think very well said. Sustainability in the context of business is something that we also need to explore a little more deeply. But ecological term is in ecological context, I think we had been discussing more on sustainability than other points. So let me throw open another question for the panel. There are challenges in moving towards a sustainable system as far as the industry is concerned, the chemical industry is concerned, plastic industry is concerned. Do we see also some opportunities in this? Would anyone of our panel members would like to respond to that?
Yeah, I think all of us as waste generators are aware of the challenges. As I mentioned in my presentation, that chemical industries are generating huge quantities of waste, and therefore these require very cleaner and sustainable technologies to handle this waste. And we as a company are definitely finding an opportunity, as sir said, that we have to grab the opportunity. And therefore, within the waste being generated in the chemical industry, we have seized that opportunity to offer wastewater recycle, reuse technologies where the water can be purified, and again the industries can be using the recycled water for either their boiler feed or cooling water, makeup water systems. So thus, reducing the dependency on the fresh water sources. Similarly, we are also into recovery of precious metals. So we offer solutions for recovery of certain catalysts from the waste. And we are having our own MRF facilities, material recycling facilities, where we are processing and recycling waste by converting into pellets and then manufacturing the bags which are being supplied to the hospitality industry and other industries also. So yes, apart from the challenges, opportunities are also immense, and we find our privilege of being a part of cleaning the environment. So opportunities we have already grabbed, and we would like to offer it to the esteemed customers from the chemical industry.
In fact, what we have found is as we started our journey to be more sustainable, we were becoming more and more productive. We started saving more and more money. So it's smart and efficient to be sustainable, because every time that we were saving some resource, we were also saving money. So being sustainable is a smart thing to do. And also we started getting premium for our products abroad. So not only we were saving money in manufacturing, we are able to get better cost realization for our final products. So either way, it's butter on the both side of the bread. So it's great to be sustainable.
Okay, I would like to just make one particular point aspect. India context, so far as plastic wastes are concerned, in India, situation is little different than developed countries and other places. Rigid plastics do not pose any waste problem in the country. You will not find any rigid plastic waste lying on the roadside or anywhere. All these are valuable products are picked up. Whether these are recycled with a very high value added to it or not, but they are reproduced in a very good product, and these are being further used. So these are enhancing the sustainability part of it. Flexible plastics waste, we have a problem. India has to have a little, 3-4 years, if not more, to cope up with it. It is built up with our littering nature also, infrastructural problem also. Otherwise, rigid plastics do not pose any problem, unlike other countries. Flexible plastics, we have to do a lot for managing that to become sustainable. Thank you.
It's also a big opportunity. All of you may be using plastic to pack your products. If not, start using plastic to pack up products. It's smarter and cheaper that way. But if you're doing that, then you also will be liable for extended producer responsibility. That's to maintain the waste of that product. If you need any help for this, feel free to reach out to ICP or to IPMA. We are here to help you. Basically, ultimately, your waste is a resource for some other industry. And it'll get you some scrap value too, so it'll make you more efficient. Thank you.
Okay, quickly. Yesterday we also heard GD Yadav, President GD Yadav. We talked about different options available for recycling of plastics. Those of you who were there in that talk would appreciate that these are actually resources, and there are various options available to us. Mr. Bandopadhyay is talking about the challenges that we face in managing flexible plastic waste. So I would like to throw the house open for any questions. We have about 4 minutes with us. Any question from the audience or any observation, any views, please raise your hand and feel free to make that point or ask the question.
One of you in the panel. This is not to do with what we discussed now. For example, you're talking about the plastics seen in the ocean floor. I fully agree with you. I think it is over-bloated. But one thing which was concerning me was that an article read the microplastics which are going into human cells, and there was an article.
I can answer that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to take your opinion that, because I saw that it is not just a hype. It is truly, there are some reports saying that it has a sense in that. So I just want to take your opinion. Is it that serious? And that is also linked to water that you are drinking because of the RO filtration and things like that. Please, yeah.
So it's one of the biggest scam pulled on our industry, on plastic industry. The largest source of microplastic is coming from tires, tire rub. Now, tire is not even made of plastic, it's made of rubber. They call it microplastic. So instead of calling it micro rubber, they're calling it microplastic. Polyester t-shirts that you wash, again, the fluff comes out, is named as microplastic, it is not called micro polyester. But diesel and petrol का जो धुआं हम सूंघते हैं, it is not named micro diesel or micro petrol. It's named as SPM 2.5, SPM 10. उसका full form 99% जनता को मालूम नहीं है. Suspended particulate matter, no will link to the source. So 80 or 90% microplastic is coming out from products which are not plastic. That is one. Second part, you will look only what you find. You will find only what you are looking for. So if you are looking for microplastic in embryonic fluid or mother's milk or on Mount Everest or on the moon, you will find it. But if you are looking for all other chemicals, you mean to say there are no other chemicals in the air that I breathe or in the water? No, that's okay. I'm consumer too, sorry. Just because nobody is looking for a chemical doesn't mean your chemicals are not there in embryonic fluid or mother's milk or Everest or anywhere. We all are living in, whatever we dispose in the environment gives it back to us one way or the other. So I think microplastic is hyped too much. There is no conclusive evidence so far that the day Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, UK, US will ban their product, pharma and food product being packed in plastic, is the day I start worrying. For 50 years, all the brands you trust are packed in plastic. Nobody says Coke or Pepsi or Tropicana or anything is unsafe, but they would say plastic is unsafe. How rubbish. For 50 years this product has, and there is not a single suit across the world which anybody has won against the plastic packaging so far. So it's safe, it's good, chill, relax, enjoy life. And the day you want to worry about all micropollutant, not just plastic. Thank you.
Okay, let me just come in with a little bit of my comment on this. There had been a study, 1 minute, sir, I'll just finish. There had been a study from a group of European scientists, and they deliberated a lot depending on what is available in the public domain on microplastics. Their opinion, if I take it, it is not a concern yet, but we should keep our eyes and ears open. And that is true for all science, you know. Science is basically is something that is going to take us forward, but it also keeps on evolving. It is not static. It keeps on evolving. So I would tend to believe that the narrative on microplastics is also something which is evolving. As of now, there is no concern of risk to humanity, but we should keep a watch on this. Yes, that is what, and as I agree with my friend from the industry that it is just not microplastics, it's microparticles. There are varieties of microparticles. All of them could have, or some of them could have some impact on health, human health. So my time is up that I can see from here, and thank everybody for being patient, even though this happens to be the last but one session. Thank you very much.